In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can create this set of cushions that you can see, and I have almost 3 kinds of cushions as you can see. And after I've shown you how you can model this, and I'm going to show you how you can texture this. And texturing is not fully an image texture. I have used a combination of procedural textures and image textures, and I have used this procedural texture to create a mask and to create something that's interesting, as you can see. And if I just for the demonstration purpose, as you can see, I have grouped the procedural masks. And as you can see, if I just increase and decrease this one, as you can see, I can create anything I want. And if I connect this to this one, I can create probably a different variety of textures. And if I just select this one, go to the edit mode, and I change this location. As you can see, I can create almost different kinds of results. So I am going to show you how you can achieve this. So when we start, this is the project file that you will find in the description below. You can just download it, or you can just follow me along without downloading that. You don't actually need this. So when we start, just press shift right click in the place that you want the cursor to be, and then just go to add, and then mesh, and then a cube. We are going to add a cube, and we can adjust the dimensions of this cube right here. So I'm just going to make the x 0.85 and the y 2.4 and the z the y to 0.15 and the z to 0.4. This is just the basic dimension that I have come up with. I think the y is 0.015. Yeah. And after this, what I'm going to do is just go to the edit mode by pressing tab, and then go to this face selection mode, and I'm just going to alt click this edge. It will select the entire face. Then after this, I'm going to press but before that, let us apply the scale. Press Ctrl A, and then scale, and then go to the edit mode again by pressing tab, and then right click, extrude along normals. So after this, you can control the extrusion right here. As you can see, we have offset number. I think right around here will be, yeah, I think right around here will be good. So after this, I'm going to give it a subdivision. Press Ctrl R, and I'm going to give it a subdivision like this, and then press Ctrl R and give it a subdivision. As you can see the numbers right here. So after this, I'm going to give it a subdivision right here also, and then again, let us give it subdivision right here. So after this, activate this auto merge vertices, and then press alt click this edge and shift alt click this edge, and after this, press SY and then 0. It will merge the vertices. And then again, I think we also don't need this one, so click this one, and also alt click this one, shift alt click this one, right click SY and then 0. It will merge it. And then again, I don't think we need this one also, so alt click to select multiple edge loops. Shift alt click is the command. So after you have selected both of the this edge loops, press SY then 0. Now it will merge it, or a Pilliow. Then after this, we are going to give it a subdivision, which will be helpful for our close simulation to simulate with a better quality. And then after this, add a modifier, and then add a close modifier. But let me change my frame. I'm going to change this to 1, and I'm going to go to the first frame. Yep. And then let me duplicate this one. Select this one and hit duplicate. And I'm going to place this one after the close simulation so that it will smooth things out. Then after this, go to the close simulation, and let us see the settings that we need to adjust. So change the vector mask to 0.01, and I'm going to leave everything as it is and give it a pressure of 3. And then the latest, let me disable gravity for now, and let us see what we will get. So as you can see, this is what we are getting. It's inflating too much, and it's the pressure is really deforming the shape of the cushion. So to control that, what we can do is we are going to use a vertex groups. So just go to this vertex object data properties, which we can assign the vertex groups. Go to the edit mode. I'm just going to alt click this edge. It will select the entire edge loop. In the vertex mode, hit plus to create a new group, and I'm going to assign the weight 2.25 so that this won't be that you'll see the effect later. Just make it 0.25 and hit assign. So after this, what you can do is go to this close simulation, and in the shape, assign the pin group and select this vertex group that we have assigned. So if I hit the simulation, as you can see, we have now somehow controlled the inflation. So now, as you can see, we have a stiffness of a value of 1. If I change this one to 0, for example, and go to the first frame again, let me simulate it again. As you can see, the vertex group has no control over this one. So the stiffness will control on how much the vertex group will be applied. So if I, for example, make it 0.5, go to the first frame and hit play, as you can see, we have something somehow better value, better result than the previous one. So this is one way that you can control your simulations, right? But as you can see, it's not inflating that much, right? It's not inflating. So what we can do is go to this close simulation, and in the pin group, I'm going to make this one. Let me make this 2.2, so that it won't, the vertex group won't affect this this simulation that much. So I'm going to go to the first frame to simulate it again. Yeah, I think this one looks way better than the previous one. I will make it 0.1. Go to the first frame again. Yeah, I think this one is looking good. So after this, what you can do is after you have done that, what you can do is select this one, and I'm going to give it a collision, and in the soft body enclose, I'm going to decrease the thickness outer, and then again I'm going to select this one, I'm going to give it a collision value, and I'm going to decrease the thickness outer, and also select this one, and in the close simulation, I'm just going to activate this, click this one, this object collision, and I'm going to give it this 5, and I'm going to decrease the distance to 0.01, and I'm going to activate gravity, and I'm going to give it a value of 1, as that's the default one. As you can see, this is more inflated than the previous one, right? So after this, go to the first frame, and I'm going to rotate this one, something like this, and I'm going to place it in the proper place where it will interact with this bed headboard and this mattress. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit play, and let me see what will happen. In order to see everything clearly, you can just view it from this side. As you can see how it's interacting between with this mattress and the headboard. As you can see, it's interacting pretty much good, right? So that's the function of this object collision. If you give if you make the distance higher, you will get a distance between this pillow and this mattress. And also, if you select this one, this thickness outer will control the distance between the two objects that you are colliding. So I think, as you can see, this one is looking good, right? This one is looking good. So if you are satisfied with the result that you have got, what you can do is just for last time, just go to the first frame. We need to UV unwrap this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to alt click, but make sure that you're on edge selection mode. I'm just going to alt click this edge, and then right click, and then I'm going to place a seam right there, and then also alt click, right click, and then mark seam. Pretty much this is the place that you will place the seams. So after this, just press A and then U and then unwrap, but make sure that you have applied the scale. For example, if this scale is not applied, the UV map that you will get will not be correct. So make sure that you have applied the scale. To apply, just press Ctrl A and scale. Since we have done this earlier, we don't have to worry about this much. So after this, go to this material, and I'm going to press new, and I'm just going to click this one, and I'm going to name it main material, and then again I'm going to hit new again. I'm going to press new, and let me rename this one to side or edge material. I'm going to use two materials. So what we are going to do is sorry, I have a problem. Yeah, so just go to the edit mode. I'm just going to go to face selection mode, and I'm just going to alt click this edge so that it will select the entire edge. So after this, just press Ctrl plus or minus. As you can see, it will increase the selection area. So Ctrl minus, but the minus has to be your the plus or minus has to be your numpad. So after this, I'm just going to use this one only. So I'm just going to assign this to the edge material. So if I just, for example, change this one to red, and let's say go to this one, as you can see, we have something like this. So this is just a way that you can use. And also, again, you can hit Control Alt. You first select this one, Control Plus, and then you can assign to this one also. So this is the general material that we are going to use. So after this, what you can do is just go to this frame, and I'm going to press Shift DX. I'm going to duplicate this one since we're going to have two matrices. So just press GX. Yep, I think somewhere around will be good. So after this, just hit play, and so as you can see, this is the simulation of both of the pillows or the cushions. So you can just select the you know the frame, the keyframe that suits you. So in this case, I think above frame 30 they are pretty much the same. So but to get variations, you can apply those in different keyframes. So after this, just select this one, go to this modifier properties, and apply them in order of, in their order. Select this one also and apply them in their order. So as you can see, this is not a smooth. This is not smooth. So to shade it smooth, what you can do is, as you can see, this is our geometry. Right click and shade smooth. When we do that, we have some kind of shading problems. So to fix that, what we are going to do is, as you can see, this does not have any thickness. As you can see, it's just a line. So what you can do is just go to add modifier, and we're going to add a solidify modifier. And I'm going to place this one before the subdivision so that, the subdivision will smooth out the solidify modifier. And I'm just going to decrease the thickness to 0.02, something like this. But still, we have those artifacts, right? So just change them more to complex. This will just fix the problem. But when you do that, we will have some kind of geometry problems. So what you can do is, in this vertex group, just select the vertex group that we have assigned previously. So this will just fix the problem. But the downside of this one is it will also decrease the distance. So as you can see, if I make the factor to 1, this won't have any effect. We will have our geometry problems, but the thickness will be a little bit too will be the original thickness that we have applied, and if you change this to 0, it will be thinner. So what you can do is I'm just going to make this 1.05. So this is the way that you can use in order to solve this problem. So what you can do is just select this one and select this one later, press Ctrl N, and then copy modifiers. So what this will do, it's going to copy the modifier from this one and apply it to this one. Just right click and then shade smooth. So we have our first pillow. So after this, we're going to model the second set of cushions. So press Shift A and add a cube, and just scale it, and you can adjust the dimensions right here. I'm just going to make the X 0.75, the Z to be 0.35, and the Y to be 0.15. I mean 0.015. So after this, I'm going to move it somewhere around here and go to the edit mode. I'm going to give it a subdivision. As you can see the number that I have placed, and then again, yep, something like this. So after I have done that, I'm going to give it subdivision surface, and then again I'm going to give it a close simulation, and then again I'm going to select this one and I'm going to duplicate it and place it after the close simulation. So after this, just go to the close simulation, and I'm going to activate self collision for this case, and we're going to see how we will have an effect, and make sure that you have decreased the distance to the minimum value possible. So after this, go to pressure, and I'm going to give it a value of 3, right? And I'm going to leave everything as it is. Maybe change the vertex mass to 0.01. This is a little bit too much. So after this, just rotate this one and place it somewhere around here. Just place it as close as possible to the ground, to the mattress, to the face of the mattress. So after this, what you can do is just press play, and let us see what kind of effect that we will get. So as you can see, if I stopped it on frame 11, we are getting something like this. And make sure that you have given this one a collision and also this one a collision, so that it will collide and give us a good result. But as you can see, we have some kind of distance. So to change that, as we have done earlier, in the collision, give it a quality step of 5 and decrease the distance as low as possible, since that's what we need. And go to this face, go to the first frame again and hit play animation. Yeah, as you can see, this is the result, but as you can see, this part is a little bit, you know, curved. So I don't want this to be curved. I want this to be as flat as possible, so that it will look like it's interacting perfectly with the mattress. So what you can do is just go to the first frame and go to the edit mode. I'm just going to select I'll click this face edge, and I'll click this edge, and then go to the vertex and then hit plus and assign it to this one. As you can see, it's 0.25. And then after this, go to the close simulation, and in the pin group, in the shape, and in the pin group, assign this to this one and make the stiffness to 1, which is the default value. And after this, just go to the first frame, get out of the edit mode first in order to see your simulation, and go to the first frame and let it simulate. So as you can see, after at frame 28, it's after a few frames it's really deforming and losing its shape. So just I think after a few frames we don't need that much of the simulation. So just you can just click it right here and you can select the proper timeline. And I think this one is good, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a quality step of 10 and let me see what what better quality can I get. So just I'm going to simulate it with a quality step of 10. So as you can see, after frame, I don't know, even in frame 30, it's really deforming. So just go back a few frames. I think this frame is good, right? I think it's interacting perfectly in the way that I want it to interact with the mattress. Yep, I think this one is looking really good. So as you can see, somewhere on frame 9 gives me a really good result. You can select the frame that suits you, but I think frame 9 gives me a good result. So after this, what I will do is just go to the first frame. I have already decided my simulation, so just go to the edit mode and then go to select sharp edge. After the sharp edges are selected, just right click and then mark seam. This will mark the seams. And then before UV unwrapping it, make sure that the scale is applied. Press Ctrl A and click scale. And then again, go to the edit mode, press A again, U, and then unwrap. So after I have UV wrapped it, what I'm going to do is I think it needs to simulate again after the UV has been wrapped. So I think frame 9 was the frame that I have decided. So I'm just going to apply this at frame 9. So just apply it and then apply it. Now we have this. So this, what you need to do is just go to the edit mode by pressing tab, and I'm going to alt click this edge. Make sure that you are on edge selection mode. I'm going to Control B and bevel it. And I'm going to make the bevel width to be 0.003 will be good. Then after this, go to face selection mode and then right click and then extrude along normals, as you can see. And I think 0.00 somehow 75 will be good. 0.0075. You can increase it or decrease it. Maybe 0.007 will be good. So for this, what you need to do is select go to edge selection mode and select this edge by alt click, shift alt click this edge loop and Control B to bevel it. And I think I will bevel it somewhere around here, 0.002. Yep, I think 0.002 will be good. So this is the result that I have got. I think it's looking good. So for this, what I'm going to do is go to face selection mode and alt click this edge. It will select the entire face loop and hit Control numpad plus until this seam, as you can see, this red one, the seam. So hit Control minus again if the selection is above the seam. And what I'm going to do is, since this one is extruded, the UV map it doesn't have a UV map, or the UV map that it already has will be stretched, so you need to UV unwrap it again. And UV unwrapping this one manually is kind of, you know, difficult. So what you are going to do is press U and then select this Smart UV project. Blender will do the work for you, and then give it the Iceland margin of 0.01 and hit OK. Now we have finished modeling the second set of our cushion. So what you can do is just duplicate this process right here and you will have a set of cushions. So as you can see, I have finished modeling both of these cushions. So as you can see, I have also added another set of cushions which are smaller than the previous ones. And if you go to the close simulation, as you can see, it has pretty much the same setting as you have used and we have used earlier. Just the shape will be different. And as you can see, everything is the same. The vertex wants to be 0 0.1, 0.001, I mean 0.01, and the pressure is 3, and I don't have any pin groups or the stiffness that we have used earlier. I do not use it on this case. And I think I have given it a collision of 5 and quality of 5 and the distance to be 0.001, and I have a gravity. And after this, what I've done is I have selected this one and I give both of these cushions a collision so that both of this will be collided with this one. And then again, the thickness factor is 0.001 so that I have minimum distance between these two colliding objects. So this is pretty much the setting, and as you can see, I have for this one, as I have subdivision and closing subdivision, which is the same setting as the previous ones. So after this, what you can do is go to the first frame, and I'm going to go to select sharp edge. After this, just right click and then mark seam and then press A and then U and unwrap. Sorry, U and then unwrap, and then again select this one also. Go to the edit mode and then select select sharp edge and then right click, mark seam, and then press A, U, unwrap. But before that, make sure that the scale is applied. I have already applied the scale, so I'm just going to simulate it, and in frame 11 was the frame that I have selected. So as you can see, in frame 11 I'm going to apply them. So select this one and apply them accordingly, and then select this one, apply them accordingly. And then after this, what I'm going to do is go to the edit mode, and then I'm going to alt click this edge, and I'm going to press Ctrl B to bevel it. Or what I'm going to do is just select both of them, go to the edit mode. I'm going to alt click this one and then shift alt click this one, and then press Ctrl B to bevel them just a little bit. Then after this, change this one to face selection mode. As you can see, it was on it. Change this one to face selection mode, and then right click and then extrude along normals, and I'm going to extrude it inwards. Yep. As you can see, I don't have to do them separately. So as you can see, this is the result. I think this one is looking really good. So as you can see, I have added another extra cushion. Pretty much it's the same. It has the same property as this one, it's just longer in the x-axis. So I think we have finished with the modeling part. So for the texturing, what we can do is let us start with this one. So I'm just going to change this one to EV material preview, and make sure that you have adjusted the strings to 0.06. If this is higher, as you can see, we can't see anything clearly, so I have made the strings to be 0.06. So what I'm going to do is in this cushion, as you can see, we have adjusted the material previously. So in the main material, change this one to shader editor, and we have this basic principal base leaf. So we're going to need image textures. So I'm going to use this fabric 001 from mbscg.com. I will place the link in the description. So we're going to do the texturing from scratch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag and drop the textures that I need. This is the color. As you can see, this is the displacement, and I'm going to use this normal GL and the roughness. So just drag and drop them. So as you can see, I have placed them, and make sure that you have make the color space RGB for the color, and for the roughness, for the normal GL, and for the displacement, make sure that you have make the color space to be non-color data. So after this, select this one and press Ctrl T to add a mapping node. This won't work if you have not enabled the Node Wrangler add-on. So make sure that you have enabled this one. So after this, I'm just going to connect this mapping node to all of the image textures. And then after this, I'm going to connect the color to the color, the roughness to the roughness. And for the normal and the displacement, what I'm going to do is press Shift A and add a normal map, and then I'm going to select this one and place this one in the color and place this one right here. This is how you can place a normal map, as you can see. And then for the displacement, press Shift A and add a displacement node, and then connect the color to the height, and this one to the displacement. Yep, something like this. And then we can also use a bump node. So press Shift A. I'm going to add a bump node and place it right here. And I'm just going to connect the color of this displacement to the height. But as you can see, this is a little bit too much, so I'm going to change the distance to 0.005. I can press aim to mute it so that you know to see what change this has. So I think it doesn't have that much change, but it will give us, as you can see, it will give us a little bit more detail. So this is the pretty much the basic material setup. So press Shift A again, add a value node. Press Shift A, add a value node, and then connect the value right here. This is just one way to control the scale easily. So I'm just going to make the scale to 2. I think this is a good scale for this cushion. So after this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to press A and I'm going to press Ctrl C to copy this one. For this edge material, what I'm going to do is press A, X, and delete this one, and I'm going to paste it. So as you can see, they have the same material, right? So in order to change the color, what you can do is press Shift A, add RGB curves. Add RGB curves, and I'm going to make this one a little bit darker, as you can see. Yep, something like this will be good. And I'm going to give it a little bit of tint to make it a little bit more red. I think I like this one. I can change the blue. Yep. So I think this is the result that I am looking for. So I'm satisfied with this one. So this is how you can change the color. So to give it a little bit more detail or realism or some kind of imperfection, what I'm going to do is go to the edit mode, but make sure that you have applied the solidify modifier. So I'm just going to press Ctrl R right here to add edge loop. And then after this, I'm going to maybe not here, I think somewhere around here will be good. Yep, I think right here will be good. I'm going to hit Ctrl B to bevel it. I think somewhere around here will be good. I think a value of this one. So after this, what I'm going to do is change this one to face selection mode, and then right click and then extrude along normals. I'm going to extrude this one along the normals. Yep, something like this. So after this, I'm going to go to edge selection mode, and I'm going to press Alt click this edge, Shift Alt click this edge, and I'm going to hit Control B to bevel it. Yep, I'm going to bevel it like this. So I have, as you can see, some kind of a seam right here. You can change, you can give this seam take a color of this one, for example. To show you, go to the edit mode, change this one to face selection mode, and I'm going to Alt click this edge, and I'm going to Control plus and then plus again, and go to the material properties and select this edge material and hit assign. So when you do that, as you can see, we have something like this. I think this one looks a lot better, right? So this is one way to give it a detail. You can repeat this process right here. So as you can see, I have given this one also a detail. So for the second set of questions, what you can do is just select this one, and then what I'm going to do is click this one and type main material, or I mean edge material. This one, I'm going to use this one for this one. So I'm just going to drag and drop it right here. As you can see, I'm going to use this one. For the next set of questions, what I'm going to do is select one of them and hit new right here. And I'm just going to delete this principal base diff. I'm not going to need it for now. So press Shift A and add a Voronoi texture like this, and plug the distance to the surface. And I'm just going to select this one, and I'm going to drag and drop this material right here also. And then we have something like this. If I decrease the randomness, as you can see, it's somehow arranged. So press Ctrl T in order to add a mapping node. Make sure that Node Wrangler add-on is installed. I have already shown you how to enable it. So after this, I'm going to change this one to UV so that you know it will be applied correctly in this surface. So if I increase the distance, as you can see, we have something that looks good, right? But this is not the result that I'm hoping for. So press Shift A and add a color ramp and place it right here. So if I just make this the black and white a little bit closer. Now we can see what's the shape of this something that we have created. So this is the first thing that we're going to use. So the reason that we have done this one is we're going to use this one as a mask to combine two kinds of textures. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this one, I'm going to press A, and I'm going to copy everything right here from this one and go right here and press Ctrl V, and I'm going to paste it. And I'm going to paste it right here. I'm going to delete this this one. And what I'm going to do is place this one right here, and then again press Shift D, and then move it right here. And then next, I'm going to place this material output right here. Press Shift A and add a mix node. Mix shader. Sorry, mix shader right here. I'm going to place this one right here and place this one at the bottom. And I'm going to plug this one at the top. And then I'm going to, in order to mix this, I'm going to use this foreground texture that we have created as a mask. So if I plug this one right here and Control Shift click this one, and this is the result that we are getting. Sorry, this is the result where we are getting. In order to see everything clearly, what you can do is just select one of them, and if I, as you can see, if I make one of them a little bit brighter, now we have something like this. So the function of this right here is it's just going to be a mask. So I can increase and decrease the scale, as you can see right here. I can always increase the color ramp, and also I can, for example, if I change this one to, for example, this one, Minkowski, we'll have something like this. And if I change this one to like this, one of them, Chibai, I don't know how to pronounce it, but as you can see, we have something like this. We can always increase or decrease the scale, decrease this one, and in the color ramp, as you can see, I can control how much the edge, the thickness of the edge. And the next, what we can do is I'm just going to select this one and then press Shift D. I'm gonna Shift D to duplicate this one and place it right here. And for this one, I'm going to select everything and press Ctrl G to group it. So as you can see, you will have something like this. Just press Tab again in order to get out of this. So we have one mask right here. And then again, I'm going to select this one, press Shift D and place it right here. And I'm just going to connect this one right here. And we're going to change some settings. And for this one, let me change this one to the default one. And I can adjust the scale right here. As you can see, I think something like this will be good. So after this, what I can do is just select this one, press Ctrl G, and I can group it and go to the edit mode, and we have something like this. So in order to control the scale from right here, what you can do is just hit Tab, go to this group, and in the group right here, you can hit plus, and in the input, I'm just going to change the name to scale. So as you can see, we have something that's appearing right here. So what I can do is I'm just going to plug this one to the scale. So if I hit Tab, now as you can see, I have the scale control. So if I hit 1, I think it was 36, right? Something like this. So I can control the scale like this. So I can give this one also the same thing that I have done right here. I just type scale and make the default value to 1 and make the minimum to 0 and the max to 100. This is just entirely based on your preference, and connect this to the scale. So if I hit Tab, now I can control also the value for this one. So if I just plug this one right here, as you can see, I can control everything. 35, I think 35 will be good. So by this method, we can create a different kinds of mask. So to create a little bit more complex mask, what you can do is let me first plug this this color right here, and I think this is what we're getting. So I'm just going to select this one, and I'm going to duplicate this one, and I'm just going to change this one to Manhattan, and also change this one to Manhattan. So after this, as you can see, even if we have some Manhattan, we are getting something difficult, something different. So for this one, I'm just going to plug the distance to the vector to the scale. So we have something like this, and I'm just going to give it a texture coordinate from this one. Now we are getting something like this. So what you can do is, if you just increase the distance, as you can see, we are getting something that's interesting, right? We're getting something that's interesting. So by this way, you can create also another different kinds of mask. So what I can do is just select this one and then press Shift D, and I'm going to move it right here. But I'm going to select this one and I'm going to press Ctrl G to group it. So if I get out of the edit mode, now I have a third node group, I mean a third mask. So I'm just going to change this one to 24 as the default value as it was before. So we have another kind. And also I'm just going to select this one, press G, and I'm going to plug this one right here. And let me change this one to this one, and change this one to this one. And let us see what we're going to get. As you can see, we are getting something, right? So you can just change this value, and also you can give it a y value like this. So by using this, you can get really interesting results. And I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to hit Ctrl G. So as you can see, by using this method, you can create different kinds of mask and create something that's really interesting. And then what you can do is, for this one, I'm just going to select this one, and then I'm going to drag and drop it right here. And for example, if I change this one right here, everything will change with it. So I don't want that to happen. So what I can do is just make this one right here and select this one. I'm going to click this duplicate or new material button. So it's going to make this one a different material. So I can just use one of the masks that I have created. So guys, when it comes to modeling and texturing this set of pillows, I think we have finished everything that we need to cover. So guys, I hope you liked this video. I think this was a really good learning curve. Please don't forget to like and subscribe so that I can keep making videos like this in the future, and see you in the next video.